10 habits men do that destroy their lives. There is no denying that we have a real crisis within our culture. Masculinity is massively on the decline. Many men are struggling with meaning and purpose. Society is struggling to understand the real reason for this. Life as a man today can feel overwhelming. There is a lot of pressure. Many men feel stuck, disconnected, uncertain about where they fit. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. But here's the hard truth. Some of the biggest obstacles in your life might be the ones you're creating. There are silent traps we fall into, subtle habits, thought patterns, ways of being. These traps don't just hold you back, they can destroy relationships, purpose, and self-respect. But here's the good news, you can fix them. Every man faces these challenges. This isn't about judgment, it's about awareness. When we understand these patterns, we can stop the damage and rebuild. The first step is honesty, looking at where things have gone wrong and choosing a better path forward. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Progress over perfection, action over avoidance. You don't have to stay stuck, you don't have to settle. Here are 10 habits that men do that destroy their lives. So this is a video for you to look at where you may be sabotaging your health, wealth, and finances. Number 1, lack impulse control. Addicted to instant gratification. Maybe the most damaging on the list. Porn, weed, alcohol, sex, drugs, doom scrolling, overspending and poor money management, overeating, all making men weaker. This was something I struggled with for many years. It wasn't until I got to university that I realized that this was an issue. You know, I'd get my student loan and that would be gone within weeks because I just couldn't control myself. I had no impulse control. And it wasn't until then that I realized that I had an issue. It took a long time to really fix this, and there is hope you can fix this, but it takes time. A lot of the bad habits in this video come from a shame response, shame being the trauma or complex trauma response that you feel like for some reason you're not good enough. So everything then comes down to distraction and you just getting what you want when you can, because you feel like that there was a time when you didn't get your needs met, and that can develop into adulthood, that can develop into you believing that the world is a scarce place. So you just want what you want and you want it now, and it's an emotional response. Not getting your needs met as a child really develops you into someone that finds impulse control very difficult. I always felt like I didn't want to miss out. I never wanted to deny myself anything. I didn't want to punish myself by missing out. So I'd always choose to just feel good now. This is affecting a lot of men, and it's probably gotten worse in the last 5 years due to technology. Just at the click of a button, we can have anything we want pretty much instantly. This one takes time, but if you train yourself to improve your impulse control, make delaying gratification a focus. The most powerful mindset shift with this one is start to see going without as pleasure. Start to see it as you are training yourself, that you are developing yourself, rather than thinking, oh, I should be, I just deserve a treat. I just deserve this little treat. I deserve the cookie. I deserve the midnight snack, or whatever it is that your vice is. Start to train yourself to go without, and in that pain, you see yourself as grow. In the pain, you start to see that you are growing rather than missing out, and you take away that victim mentality of you denying yourself something. This is the most powerful mindset shift, because you're not going to die, right? It does feel like you, because you're denying yourself these instant gratifications, this quick fix of dopamine. You feel like you're punishing yourself. So what you need to do then is to flip that and realize that you are actually healing by going without. Number 2, avoiding responsibility. Avoiding responsibility means not stepping up in your career, relationships, or personal growth. It's easy to blame others, your boss, society, or even your parents. But until you accept that your life is your responsibility, you'll stay stuck. I feel like a lot of the red pill movement is just guys not wanting to take responsibility. They, on some level, rationalize that if they just did the work or they became better men, that they would get everything they want. Whereas this is just distraction, and it's just placing the blame. Now, some of what they say has merit. There is some things I like about the red pill movement, but most of it is just guys venting and making excuses. Avoiding accountability can look like distracting yourself with video games or social media. This distraction pulls you away from pursuing your goals and fulfilling your potential. The solution? Start small. Own one thing each day: your health, finances, or how you show up in relationships. Responsibility is the foundation of freedom and personal growth. If you're enjoying this type of content, then subscribe and like the video, give it a thumbs up so other men can see this type of content. Number 3, isolating yourself. Many men believe they need to go it alone to prove their strength. This mindset destroys lives by cutting off the power of community and connection. Isolation leads to depression, anxiety, and even addiction. Talking about your struggles is not a weakness, it's a strength. Connection to like-minded men can transform your perspective and energy. Never underestimate hanging around with other men. Get hobbies, even if you don't like the hobby. Do karaoke nights, pool nights, play five-a-side football, pub quizzes. Get yourself out there, meeting other people. You'd be surprised how, if you just say, look, I want to join a team of some kind, you can meet other people. Now, you may not meet people that are like-minded at first, but isolating is so dangerous, you might as well just put yourself out there. You don't have to carry every burden alone. Lean on others when needed. The true strength lies in building relationships that uplift and empower you. Connection is the antidote to isolation and stagnation. Number 4, letting fear control you. Fear is the silent killer of potential, keeping you small and stuck. Fear of failure, rejection, or looking weak can paralyze your progress. Fear often comes from stories we tell ourselves about what might happen. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. Start by taking small, calculated risks to challenge your fears. Reframe failure as a learning opportunity, not an endpoint. One man I worked with overcame his fear of starting a business through small, consistent steps. Your growth begins where fear ends. Step into discomfort. It's the path to confidence and freedom. A big turning point in my life was where I realized that I can't overcome fear by denying fear and trying to avoid fear. I had to go through the fear. And this was a big deal because I didn't want to feel the fear. I realized that the fear of fear itself was stopping me from just experiencing fear. And I reframed fear to be something that is good, something that is telling me to do something. It's the butterflies in the stomach, which is a signpost. And if you are constantly avoiding fear, then you just live in fear, then you never actually get rid of the fear. It's a paradox. So pretty much make fear your friend and affirm that you can handle it by stepping into fear, by consistently living in fear. Therefore, you own fear. You're not living because you're not being denied by fear. It's such a game changer to actually encourage fear and look for fear rather than avoid fear. Number 5, neglecting your health. Your body is the foundation of everything you do in life. Neglecting sleep, nutrition, and fitness can lead to a downward spiral. Health issues often compound over time, affecting energy and mental clarity. Taking care of your body builds confidence, discipline, and resilience. Start simple. Drink more water, move your body daily, prioritize sleep. Healthy habits create a ripple effect, improving your mindset and productivity. Your body is your greatest asset. Treat it with respect. A strong body supports a strong mind and a fulfilling life. Commit to your health. It's an investment in your future. Self-neglect is probably a shame response. So if you have that underlying belief that you don't like yourself, then what suffers is your body and your health, because you think that on some level that you don't deserve to feel healthy, you don't deserve to feel good. And then you just forget what it is like to feel good. And this is something I did for many years. I drank too much alcohol and I really just made my life so difficult. One thing I'll say, and this is key, is get up at exactly the same time in the morning and go to sleep at exactly the same time in the morning. Drink lots of water, and that will reduce 80% of your problems, just that alone, because you'll feel well rested and you'll be hydrated. Look into the idea that maybe because you have that shame response, that because on some level that you believe that you should neglect yourself, that's what, when you have a low self-image of yourself, when you don't like yourself, then it is your body that suffers. And when you start to actually respect yourself, that's when you are much more consistent at eating healthy and going to the gym and cutting out all the bullshit like sugar, because you value your body and you believe the potential you believe in the potential of your body. Your body is an amazing machine, and you start to get curious about what it can achieve rather than poisoning it and actually damaging it because on some level you don't like yourself. Number 6, chasing the wrong goals. Society often tells us what success should look like: money, cars, status. Many men climb a ladder only to realize it's leaning against the wrong wall. True fulfillment comes from aligning your goals with your values. Ask yourself, is this truly what I want, or am I chasing someone else's dream? One man I worked with quit a high-paying job to pursue his passion for teaching. It was a difficult decision, but ultimately brought him more joy and purpose. Success is personal. It's about what matters to you. Reevaluate your goals regularly to ensure they align with your values. Fulfillment comes from pursuing what truly matters, not what looks good on paper. You won't be fulfilled ultimately chasing things or how you look to other people. Fulfillment comes from actually making a difference, and it can be that you align this with your purpose. But ultimately, there could be a part of you that is just doing a job because you want to make your father proud or your mother proud, or you want to look good to your friends and you want to look like a success, when really working in a high profile bank or working in finance, a lot of guys, a lot of my friends from school, they work in these jobs and they hate these jobs, but because they get the money, then they can numb themselves on the weekends. A lot of them have severe problems because of this. Their coping mechanisms are actually pretty extreme, and unfortunately a lot of the fulfilling jobs like teachers or whatever, they don't pay that much, so it's a tricky one. And I know I'm being realistic here, but this is something that will destroy your life if you really hate your job, if you are chasing things just to keep up with the Joneses, just to look good on paper. 7, ignoring emotional growth. Many men are taught to suppress their emotions, seeing them as a sign of weakness. Bottling up emotions leads to explosions, shutdowns, or unhealthy coping mechanisms. Emotional mastery isn't about ignoring feelings, it's about understanding and working with them. Start by naming what you're feeling. It's the first step to processing emotions. Therapy, journaling, or talking to a trusted mentor can be transformative. One client I worked with found clarity simply by journaling for 10 minutes each day. When you embrace emotional growth, you build deeper relationships and inner peace. Your emotions are a strength, not a weakness. Use them as a tool for growth. Emotional intelligence is a key to both personal and professional success. One thing I talk about in other videos is parts work, or IFS, internal family systems, which assumes that we are multiple personalities, and not to say that we are crazy. I'm not saying that we have multiple personality syndrome, but most of us have different parts of us that operate from different emotions. We have the angry part and the jealous part, or the guilty part, or the fearful part, and all of these parts have their own intentions and goals and drives. They are almost like they are different personalities or people within us, and it isn't until you realize that you have these drives or parts that you can start moving through them and understanding their intentions. And this is quite life-changing. This is the most powerful therapy work that I ever did. And it really did change my life, because once I realized a lot of what I was doing was from these burdened parts of me that were locked in the past. It wasn't until I made these changes I could then really pinpoint a lot of my behavior down to these emotions, and it was just these emotions that were driving my behavior. And it wasn't until then I could actually step aside from addictions and found a lot of clarity. I found a lot of clarity and peace from realizing that it was just these parts of me that were protecting me. Chasing women and approval. A big problem I see from guys is finding comfort in women, finding comfort or approval and validation, thinking they're going to find happiness from chasing after women, chasing after superficial women, type of woman that looks good so they can show off to their friends. This is something I did for many years, and this wrecks guys' lives. This is tied to fake intimacy. It's rooted in childhood trauma. For some reason, guys that didn't get their needs met and it's normally comes from nice guy syndrome. It comes from this sense of needing approval and chasing women, because women do offer this. This is what these guys think, and this is what I thought for many years, that women do offer this sense of comfort. And when you don't have that approval from your parents, when you are chasing that, chasing it through relationships just makes it worse. You're never going to find approval that way, and this is one of the worst on this list, along with low impulse control. This is causing a lot of damage in a lot of guys' lives. You've got to realize that there is a healthy relationship out there that you only can get from a woman that actually invests in you, and chasing women for superficial reasons always ends badly. Number 9, not pursuing a purpose. A man without a purpose is like a ship without a rudder. He drifts aimlessly. Purpose doesn't have to be grand, it just has to give you direction. It could be being a great father, mastering skill, or contributing to your community. Start by asking yourself, what excites me? What problems do I want to solve? One man I worked with found purpose in mentoring young boys in his community. When you have a purpose, you wake up each day with a sense of meaning and drive. Purpose provides clarity and anchors you during tough times. Explore activities, causes, or goals that light a fire within you. Your purpose is unique to you. Embrace it fully. Purpose is very powerful, and you may not find it, you may never find your purpose, but you have to look at what really excites you, really what you can spend a lot of time doing. This YouTube channel for me has been my purpose. Editing, scripting, writing these videos, thinking about what I would have wanted 5 or 10 years ago, my younger self. And that's who I'm talking to now. I'm talking to my younger self. This is what I'm saying to you now. It's like, commit to something, because it will give you that reason to get up early. I go to the coffee shop early and I start writing these videos, and it gives me this sense of joy. I feel alive. I feel like, yeah, I've got a purpose. It distracts me from my distractions. If I don't have this, then I am lost. I am just wandering around. I'm indulging in things I really shouldn't be doing. Probably all of the other 9 bad habits in this list. If it wasn't for this YouTube channel, if it wasn't for coaching guys, I wouldn't have that purpose, and I absolutely love it for this reason. So you've got to start looking and start finding something. And if you don't know, just start testing different things. But you probably do know. It's probably something that scares you because you're worried about failure. But yeah, check it out. Check out different things that really excite you, because it's in there. It's inside of you, I promise you. Number 10, not being honest with yourself. The biggest trap of all is self-deception, lying to yourself about what you want or need. Facing the truth can be painful, but it's the first step to real growth. Take an honest inventory of all your habits, relationships, and mindset. Ask yourself, where am I out of alignment with who I want to be? One client realized his job wasn't aligned with his values and made a courageous shift. The truth may sting, but it's what sets you free to live authentically. Honesty with yourself builds trust, confidence, and direction in life. Commit to radical honesty. It's the foundation of personal transformation. The truth is a guide, not a punishment. It shows you where you need to go. If you're watching these type of videos, then you're probably looking for something that you already know on some level. You want to be reminded of, like, oh yeah, I do that habit, or I do that bad thing that's probably causing me a lot of trouble. And you have to be really honest with yourself, like, okay, I need to make a commitment to not do that anymore. So I need help. I need to go about this and actually be honest with myself, because, you know, this is what I had to do with low impulse control. Low impulse control, chasing women, and desexualizing my brain. These were things that were affecting my life, my finances, my relationships, my general well-being, my health, and it was getting serious. So I had to be very honest with myself. I had to get to the point where I'm like, look, Joe, you need to fucking change, right? You need to do something, or this is just not going to end well. So honesty is probably, not being honest with yourself is probably the linchpin that holds all of these bad habits together. So there is help out there. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, so other people can see, other men can see this type of content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. If you are struggling with desexualizing your brain, then click this video here.